ladies, how else can I put it?
Yeah.
See yourself as a precious jewel. You can decide that you want to be worn by everybody and you end up all withered and finished. Or you can decide, you know what, I'm going to treat myself
with dignity and honor.
You know, I always tell my hubby, I have carried and pushed 5 babies for you.
Yeah.
5. This is my time to look fabulous.
Ladies, 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 I know a God that fulfills purpose. I know a God. You are all invited to the Daughters of Zion meeting to be held on Saturday, the 29th of June 2013, hosted by Reverend Kathy Kiuna. God is not moved by crowd, He's moved by individual. There is a personal God that we need to know, like David. I don't care if you think I'm late. I know a God who never delays. I know a God who never discourages. Purpose to attend. Daughters of Zion, raising the standard among women. Yes, you are.
There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. You're a woman without limits. Woman, 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 woman without limits. Na 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 na.
Hey, good to see you all. Wow. Good evening, viewers. You're welcome to Woman Without Limits. My name is Reverend Kathy Kiuna, as usual, your host, and I'm so delighted that you could tune in from wherever you're watching us from. Now, we've been talking to this wonderful woman that everybody has been wondering where she comes from, who she is, and she's given us bits and pieces of who she really is. And we thank God that we're getting to know her better, because you see, when you have a role model that you can watch, this is a celebrity that everybody looks up to, they watch her, and to just know that she walks with God and she loves the Lord and that she can be able to lead young ladies in the right direction. This is the woman to watch. Her name is Gichuru, and today we're going to be taking it a notch higher because she's doing something with presidents. She's doing something that is outstanding. I don't know if you were able to watch her the other day with our president, Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't know if you were. If you didn't, I tell you, you missed on something very great, because then you would hear him speak about where this nation is going and what he intends. And Julie is doing a marvelous job in that area. And I want you to put your hands together and welcome Julie Gichuru with me. Thank you. Good to see you. You look amazing.
Back again. You look stunning. Stunning is the word.
Thank you, thank you. Now we are back again, and today we want to talk about where you are right now, because we watched you even the other day with the president doing a marvelous job.
Thank you.
What's that? What's that? Where is that going?
So very interesting.
Yeah.
So that was part of the Africa Leadership Dialogue.
Okay.
Which is a show I conceptualized and started as a result of the Tutu Fellowship. And we were challenged to do something that will change or impact society in a positive manner.
Wow.
And for me, I started to ask myself why Africans were having very insular conversations. So here in Kenya, in the news, it's politicians first, it's all politics, it's everyone's fighting with everyone.
Yeah.
While we are discovering natural resources increasingly on our continent.
Exactly.
We know there are a lot of conflicts that have developed as a result of that,
Yeah.
but there are also countries finding democracy
Yeah.
and starting to grow. There's also a lot of foreign money coming into Africa.
Exactly.
And if we don't know what's going on in our own society, on our own continent, we'll find ourselves once again on the outskirts of a conversation.
Yeah.
So I felt very important to start a different conversation, start asking ourselves as Africans, you know, do we have a single identity? Can we say we're proud of something called Africa?
To be African.
That we indeed belong together?
Yeah.
If then we do, what responsibility do we have to start delving into leadership issues on Africa, citizenry issues, business, how is business conducted across different African countries, where there are opportunities. There might be a potato farmer in Nyandarua who might want to know if he can take potatoes to DRC. So do those opportunities truly exist?
Yeah.
But you've got to start the conversation somewhere. So this is what Africa Leadership Dialogues was meant to be, a discussion by Africans, or even global leaders on Africa.
Okay.
But not an accusatory, confrontational discussion.
Okay.
A discussion where you're willing to listen, take what you can, ask the questions. You don't have to agree either.
Yeah.
But we have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So I was really blessed to be at the World Economic Forum. I go every year. I'm a young global leader.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of interviews there. So I've interviewed a lot of African leaders.
Yeah.
But our president arrived on Thursday, very late at night for the forum, and I told his people, surely he has to.
We have to do this.
He must talk about.
But that was awesome. That was amazing. And you know, when you hear your own leader telling you where we are going, what he wants to do, what you know, then it gives us hope.
And you know, in a country where we've been so divided by tribalism, and we think in these political cocoons, it's very important to understand that is just a fragment of a much bigger picture. There's a much bigger picture, and there's much more at stake for you. And how do you leverage and benefit? And are you lobbying your government to go in the right direction? Are they going in the right direction? So it was important to hear from him his thoughts on what is being described as the scramble for African resources, and how we hope Africa will respond to that scramble.
So what you're saying, Julie, is that you want everybody involved, whatever it is that they do. Is that what you're saying? In their businesses, they're coming into like what would you say? Like work together.
To trade, to
trade.
To learn from each other. So I think it starts with, first of all, accepting. Because I have heard some people say, there is nothing like one Africa. There never will be. I've heard that. And then we need to accept that we are not a 1 billion plus market. How viable are our small little markets and cocoons? And we cannot sit at a table with China, look China in the eye and say, meet me on my terms, if you don't come with some clout, which is a huge market, which is several countries coming together to say, we have standard policies when it comes to trade, so you should agree, you know, you should sit and respect us, rather than come with your terms. And what African governments have traditionally done is been very accepting and, you know, rely very heavily on aid rather than fair trade, you know, all these kinds of things. But for me, I believe that we all have a role to play, not just government. But if the farmer understands a prosperous Africa and a good relationship with Uganda means I can head further to the interior, then you're able to leverage. So I think it's first we all get the awareness
that we are needed. We are needed. In our little areas, we are needed. And if we can work together, our roles, when they merge, they can actually bring a bigger, better outcome.
They elevate us all.
They elevate us all.
Yes.
So that's what you're doing.
So my hope is that in the conversations we have, we can ensure that people understand where Africa is going, so they're able to position themselves for the prosperity.
Do you know for real, I know we've been saying this and it may sound like a cliche, but do you know it's time for Africa?
It is.
I'm telling you.
It is.
We are sounding that trumpet from our pulpits, from everywhere, because I know without a shadow of doubt. In fact, my husband has been preaching a message on the marketplace, like anointed for the marketplace, that the Christian doesn't have to sit back in church and just watch things happen. But we need to get involved in every area of our lives to know that the marketplace needs us. So when you're talking about people needing each other and working together to expand, to go out there, I mean, go take you to Uganda, and to South Africa and to wherever.
And buy stuff from there, not from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and empower them also.
So, you know what? Let's talk. Can we talk?
We're talking.
Can we please talk? You know, I've noticed something when it comes to our African nature. I don't know if it's something that we need to cast out, you know, or to paralyze out, or I don't know what we need to do, but we need to do something drastic. We don't uplift one another. We fight each other. Such that if you're making an outfit like this, we're going to talk about it soon, and there's another label of, say, Beyonce, you know, next door, you'll find that an African would rather go to the Beyonce side than to come to their brother or sister. Now, what would you call that? Because look, you're trying to like bring people together to understand that we need each other.
On the Africa Leadership Dialogues, the first person I hosted is a Zimbabwean who was a former minister. He now runs the Mandela Foundation with Graça Machel in South Africa. And his name is Nkosana Moyo. And one of the questions I asked him as our conversation went on, one of the questions, which is a very unusual question, but I asked him, do we as Africans love each other? Do we love ourselves enough? And he paused, he thought, and he says, you know, I'd like to say yes, but the evidence
is that no.
Is that we don't.
We don't.
But what I can say is over the past decade, there's been a significant shift.
Yeah.
An appreciation of our own music, an appreciation of our own movies, an appreciation of our own celebrities, so it is changing.
It is changing.
And I think the important thing now is because the way we are socialized, we are in between our cultural identities of yore and the modern world. And we have to find our own space.
Exactly.
A place where we can meld those two.
Yes.
So we don't reject everything that was us.
Yeah.
There are some cultural things that were good.
That was so good.
How do you retain the good?
Yeah.
And then accept maybe the technological advances, the positive things from the
Make
West.
the good better, but don't discard it.
Don't discard it.
Yeah.
And don't take everything that was you, throw it away, and then accept the West plus all the negatives.
Exactly.
Yes. So I think we need to, that's the space we need to find.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think if as you go on with that, I think if you can shout, and we shout, and the rest of the people shout, that we need each other, that we need to work together, we need to feel each other, we need to love each other. I love your products, you love mine, so that we can, because look, for you to become anybody in life, you're lifted. Yes, God, of course, is in the center, but you're lifted by also your people, the people around you.
Absolutely.
Like for you to ever become, either call it a celebrity or whatever, it is people that acknowledge that and begin to lift you up. If we can work together as Africans, can you imagine how far we can go?
And you know what's powerful is North Africa for a long time had rejected its African identity. For a long time, North Africans would say, we're Arab. We're not African.
Yeah.
We are Arab. And in many ways, they are Arab. But they remain on the African continent. And I've noticed, even from the north, a willingness now to say, we are African.
We are African.
So we're going to have to find, and somebody said at a event I moderated the other day, it's about complementarity rather than competition. African nations must find complementarity.
Complement each other.
Yes. So exactly what you're saying.
Exactly.
At individual level, do it. At community level,
do it.
Do it. At national level, the same.
Your vision is to raise others also?
It's to raise others through, now this is another area.
Yeah.
And this I think is where I will really grow. I have this view that when we were colonized, we fought for independence. We got independence. We thought, oh, now we are
Gichuru. Sorted. We are good.
Now it's okay. And then we had TVs, yes, and radios. And then our colonizers said, we can give you TV shows.
Yeah.
And we can give you radio shows, and you air in your countries, and we'll bring you our books and everything. And we ended up colonized by content. So I grew up on British TV shows.
Yeah.
I'm as English as they come.
Yeah.
I could sit in London right now And people tell me, are you really from Africa? They can't believe it. The way
Yeah.
you speak, the way I think.
Yeah.
I'm very heavily anglicized,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
For the younger generation, I think they were Americanized. It's when we started buying American content.
Yeah.
So we have a problem where we've been feeding a lot of international content to our
Kids.
people,
Yeah.
yes, to our children.
Yeah.
And we need to start redefining the African story.
Come on now. So they don't belong. Amen.
They don't know who they
don't
are.
belong. They have no clue.
And with such a heritage, you can imagine Africa had such a heritage of storytelling.
Exactly.
You know, of community, of
Yeah.
rich.
A child was brought up by the neighborhood, if you may.
Societies were so entwined and interlinked.
Together. If a woman, your neighbor woman, found you walking, loitering, they would pinch you back to your house.
Yeah, pull your ear and take you back
Ask
to
you,
the
where are
house.
you going and what are you doing? And we are killing that by day and saying that it's backward. It's a backward way of thinking and all that.
We've been
so in our
socialized.
westernization, we are socialized to forget about our roots and where we are coming from. That's why when you're talking about your grandmother, I thought, wait a minute, how many people even visit their grandparents because they think they're backward, they can't even speak English. Oh my God, look at this. You know, yet there's so much to learn from them.
Absolutely.
So we are killing our roots.
We're killing our roots. So for me, I've had another passion planted in me, which is tell the story, tell the story, tell the story.
Yeah.
Don't wait for somebody to come and do a story about Kimani Maruge. They came from Hollywood. You understand what I'm saying? Where are our storytellers? And we don't have to tell stories about love and juju and betrayal every day.
Yeah.
We can do, or slapstick comedy every day.
Yeah.
We can do other things.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm really passionate about, and I have a production house, we produce Africa Leadership Dialogues. We have something we do in high schools called Great Debaters Competition, where we're trying to challenge people in high school to think about, again, the issues affecting, a lot of the topics are Africa-based.
Yeah.
And other shows, but one of the things I'm passionate about is animation, cultural cartoons. So my children don't just watch Ben 10.
Yeah.
They can tell you, this community has this story, and this is the lesson. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Historical dramas. So we have one we're working on right now, and it's about the days of the Mau Mau in the home guard, an ordinary person stuck in between. So even our young people who say things are tough today, do you know how tough things were when these wazés, you know, these days we call these guys wazés, you know, they just took, like somebody like Karume.
Yeah.
Young people to understand that everybody has to travel a journey.
Exactly. It
And
doesn't
this
come
is
on
the
a silver
history.
platter.
Yes, and this is the history of our nation. So that when you vote, the next time we vote, and I think my son will be voting in the next election. Oh my goodness, I've just realized. This just dawned on me. My son will be voting in the next election, that when he casts his vote, the memory of the blood that was shed for the right to cast that vote will weigh heavy on the decision that he makes for the nation.
Yes.
Because we've told the story.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm
So we don't just vote on tribals and all that, you know.
that there's a heritage and a history and a price that was paid. And when they paid that price in blood, they weren't asking, what tribe were you from? You know, people were struggling to free their land from what they saw as
Oh
the
my
oppressor.
God, you know, Julie, I love that because, you see, let me tell you, once everybody knows how important your land is, where you come from, when everybody buys into it and actually knows how critical it is to love your nation and work for your nation, then I'm telling you, we are going to go places. Because you know, if you look at the Americans, if there is anything they love, it is their country. I'm telling you, Americans love America with a passion. And you know what? When I go to the States and I hear Kenyans talk bad about Kenya, I feel like slapping them. Honestly, I'm like, wait a minute. We have a great nation. We have the most beautiful nation. But you see, everybody now has to love it. Everybody has to buy into it.
And you know, America has sold an amazing, it's a narrative, it's a story.
Yeah.
America is the land of opportunity.
Yes.
Look, there are a whole lot of people struggling in America today.
A lot.
There are people who are jobless on the street. Any land is the land of opportunity for someone who makes up their mind to seek and grab that opportunity.
Wow. Wow.
So
wow.
I truly believe Africa, in spite of all the challenges is a land of opportunity.
But you know, I love something that you said, that it's going to take individuals. And I believe that every individual needs to take responsibility to speak well over our nation. You know, if you speak well, somebody else speaks well, you who's watching speaks well, and we all unite, as in saying, yes, we have a good country, we have good leadership, we are going places.
If you look at, and I did this for my thesis in my MBA, I was studying the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And comparing the Bahamas to Kenya and where they are today compared to us. Actually, it was a rat-infested island. There was no tourism that could take place there. It was a rat-infested sewer. Yes, that's what it was. And now when you think about it, it's this amazing holiday because somebody put in the work. And as you were saying, many people think it takes a century.
Yes.
But it can take a decade.
It can take a decade. And you know, they turned it from third world to first world.
Amazing.
Now everybody looks up to them. They're like, wow, how did you do this? Yet we can do that here in Kenya. But everybody needs to start thinking, this is our land. This is what we have. We can't all go to Uganda and say, let's relocate.
Right.
This is our
and
land.
also it's not always about what can you take.
Yeah.
It's also about what you can give.
What you can give.
And I believe in, you know, the idea that when you give without expecting, you will receive in,
You will.
in
due
droves
course.
and bundles.
Yeah.
You will receive, yes,
Yeah.
in
due
multiples.
course. Yes, exactly. We have a beautiful nation, and if we can work together as Africa, we can really allow God to do what it is that He desires to do with Africa, because it's our time. And I believe that the resources and everything that's happening right now here in Africa is going to shock the world.
Yes.
I'm telling, I believe it with all my heart.
Amen.
With all my heart, yeah. So that's where you're going. You're raising other young people.
Yes, yes. So hopefully a generation of critical thinkers.
Yeah.
And a generation that doesn't feel that if we think differently, we have to collide. It's okay for you to, maybe we enrich each other with different perspectives and we find a way to move together. So I'm hopeful for Africa, I'm hopeful for the continent. I think for our children we have a huge obligation to feed them more positive, informational, although entertaining content, and that will come as well. So I'm not sure, I'm actually writing a script as well. I'm scripting a TV show.
Yeah.
So I'm writing.
Yeah. Wow.
When I was young, I always said I wanted to be an author.
Okay.
So it's a long time coming, and right now what I'm scripting is a TV show. But maybe it's going to take me to what I'll do eventually, which is sit down and write a book. I started writing a sci-fi, an African sci-fi novel based on, 30 years from now.
Okay.
I was trying to extrapolate what will Kenya be like. And I actually started writing about what I envisioned would be my grandchildren.
Wow.
And so I said, okay, this is me now, but what if I write about my grandkids and the world they'll be in, that will inspire me even more. So I started writing about my grandchildren. So I thought, so where will I be? And what will I be doing 30 years from now? Yeah. So I was an old lady somewhere in Naivasha, Elementaita.
Okay.
That's where I settled. And I was writing books. And my husband, Tony, was he's a farmer who dabbles in a lot of science as well. So he's a scientist come agriculturalist farmer. Yeah. And there we are, the two of us, old, settled, and there's this whole mystery that our grandkids go through, and this is the book. Anyway, so I didn't tell him. I told him, read the book and tell me what you think. Yeah. And he was just reading. Actually, it was the first chapter. He started reading, and he said, "Oh, these are grandchildren." I was so pleased because I was like, yes. So, I see a beautiful Africa where we will protect and preserve our environment and our wildlife, where our governments will be focused on preservation and protection of the natural environment, because the rest of the world has depleted what it has, where we are enriched and living in ecosystems that work, and it was such a beautiful, sorry, I don't even know how I went on that.
No, that's so good. Isn't that beautiful? That's amazing. Wow. So that's what you said. So then Africa is in your heart.
Many places in the world are reaching their limits, and Africa is where the wealth is.
It's here. It's here. And it's here, and I'm telling you, if we just embrace one another and realize that, we are going places. We'll be lenders to the nations.
Yeah.
Isn't that? Yeah. I mean, that's what the word of God tells us. So, and I believe that's what God desires of us, because we are going to be lenders to the nations. That's the word, isn't it? That's the word. It can't be altered. So here you are, Julie. We really, keep going. Keep going. We are praying for you. Keep going. Keep raising those people. Keep talking to them. Keep speaking to the nation, because then somebody is listening.
Yes.
And somebody is hearing. And listen, you who's watching us by television, you take your part. Love your nation. Speak good about it. And it's going to give back good to you.
I always tell my hubby, I have carried and pushed 5 babies for you.
Yeah.
5. This is my time to look fabulous.
So Julie, let's get a little deeper. You know, being as beautiful as you are, obviously there are a lot of people in the opposite sex that come on to you. I mean, try to see perhaps, even if you're married, what is it now? Like, what's wrong?
You know, I get that question a lot. How do you deal with this in your workplace? How do you deal with this out there? And what's very, very interesting is it happens very, very rarely. And I say to young ladies, I am very aware it happens rarely because of the message I give out. I am not available. It is very hard for you to breach, to even see how do I start this conversation.
Yeah.
How do I even, where do I, you would be so embarrassed because my message is very clear.
Yes.
So I always tell young girls, be very aware of the signals that you give out.
Yeah.
Because maybe you're wondering what's going on, why does this person keep doing that? Maybe you're doing something very small that is sending a mixed signal.
Message, yeah.
And by and large, men are very simple.
Yeah.
If they feel you're sending them a signal,
they'll handle it.
They'll read the signal.
They know how to work the signal.
If you send them a signal saying unavailable, that is also a signal
they read it.
that they read and understand.
Yeah.
So I also say because I have that unavailability, I feel the Lord has put a veil of protection around me.
Whoa. Oh.
Yes. So
wow,
there is one story, and I want to honor the late Senator Mutula Kilonzo and give his name when I tell this story.
Yeah.
I used to produce a show called Showdown at NTV. And Mutula and Mirugi were the hosts, so we would meet with them every week and different politicians would come in. And one week one politician came in and I was walking just ahead of them and he was making comments so that I could hear and trying to hit on me and make suggestive remarks. And Mutula was right there and he said, hey, no, I will not allow this. This is a good girl. You don't do that.
Yeah.
And it was so paternal and protective.
Wow.
That, I just want to honor that.
Yeah.
And say that, you will even find those around you will also become your protectors.
Because
and when anybody else,
they know what you stand for.
And when anybody else comes, you will find a protector here and a protector there.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Oh my God, what a way to be known. Yeah. What a way that somebody can protect you because they know what you stand for.
They say, listen, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Wow.
Which is good. So whatever message you decide to send, so take a moment just to analyze yourself. Say, how would other people see me? Is there something that I'm doing that is being misread? Maybe I need to adjust one thing or another. And keep, if you're wondering what's going on around you, keep assessing that.
Yeah.
Especially for young ladies.
Yes. So really, basically, it's also dressed the way you want to be addressed.
Yes.
That's both cloth-wise, your face, the way you carry yourself.
Right.
Yeah, and it's helping a young girl because there are girls who believe, oh my God, I am just so attractive. These guys can't stay off. And
it's good to be beautiful.
Yes.
But you're a precious jewel.
Yeah.
I mean, ladies, how else can I put it?
Yeah.
See yourself as a precious jewel. You can decide that you want to be worn by everybody and you end up all withered and finished. Or you can decide, you know what, I'm going to treat myself
with
as
dignity
yes.
and honor,
Yes.
as something special.
As something special.
Because we are far more precious than rubies.
Oh, yes.
That's what the Word of God tells us.
Yes, yes,
So we
yes,
must
yes,
carry ourselves as such. You know, I was telling you a story of this girl who was going to school with this, you know, really popular girls. And she was wondering, how come I never ever get hit on? I mean, honestly, seriously. You know,
all the other girls are getting
all the other girls are getting hit on, and me, nobody's looking my direction, even suggestively. Even just pretend. And so she was really wondering, because all her friends would really get attention. And one day she went and asked one of the guys, how come? You guys, is it, am I beautiful? And the guy said, yes, you're very beautiful. And she said, and how come all the guys just don't seem to look at me? And yet my friends are always hit on left, right, and center. And you know what he said to her? He said, tomorrow, try and dress like them.
And see.
And you will see. Because the kind of signal they are sending is they want to be wanted. They want to be, you know.
It's a desperation that is smelt.
The men can smell it. Yeah? And imagine, the girl did it just to try. And she dressed like that. And she was getting hit on left, right, and center. And she knew, oh, my Lord. So it depends on the way you carry yourself. If you carry yourself like, I'm available, I'm here, that's exactly what you're going to get.
And to be hit on is it's not something you should be looking for. You don't want, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And the quality will not come when the quantity is there. The quality will keep away because it is precious in itself.
Yes.
The quality is looking for quality.
For quality.
And if the quality sees there is quantity somewhere, it will shy away.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. So the way you carry yourself is what has helped you, of course, and God's protection. That's awesome. That's my God, you young lady that's watching, understand, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. He's going to locate you. Just hang in there and wait on God. Yeah? Yeah. Another thing I want to ask you. Am I doing well? Am I asking for you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Another thing, Julie, is that you dress very well.
Thank you.
You dress very well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
coming
always,
from you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you have such lovely outfits. You have beautiful taste.
Thank you.
Where do you get your outfits?
So I started a clothing line. It's called Mimi.
Oh.
And yes, I did. So my dress, my shoes, I dress in a lot of our own clothing.
Even the shoes?
Yes, even the shoes. We do shoes, yes, as well. Yes. Wow. So, and the reason why was, you know, as a TV host, you spend a lot of money buying clothes.
Yeah.
But I'm a mother of many children.
Yes.
And my husband and I have many obligations outside of buying clothes. And so, you know, I started getting frustrated at spending a lot of money on looking for a nice dress, a nice skirt. And I decided, look, actually, if I'm having this problem, that means a lot of other women
are going through the same
problem.
Yeah.
And I really wanted nice clothes at an affordable price.
Yeah.
So I started looking around and met some suppliers and decided to start it as an online shop because the costs are kept low and the pricing of the clothes can therefore remain low.
Yeah.
So we are online at mimi.co.ke. You can go have a look, you can order. People are ordering. I mean, orders started coming in immediately when we started 7 months ago. Mombasa, Kisumu. When I got the order from Transoya, I got on my knees and I said, God, you are amazing. We get orders from everywhere. And I said, oh my goodness, we're serving what was a need that nobody realized is a need.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do affordable clothes. My vision and my dream is we will get to a place, hopefully by the end of this year, where we're commissioning local designers and doing local ranges.
Wow.
Yes. So that more and more you'll find me in Kitenge dresses, you'll find me in Kikoi, you know, and we can start, as we've discussed this whole time, starting to celebrate our local designers as well. Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the vision.
Yeah, that's the, you have to have a vision first, and then you start to realize
Take it
as
from
you,
there.
yes, yeah. That's beautiful. So if we want all these clothes, we can just get online?
Go to mimi.co.ke. You'll find the clothes there. You'll choose your size, and we deliver to your door.
Oh.
Yes, we deliver to your door.
What? Anywhere?
Anywhere. If it doesn't fit, you send it back from Mombasa with a messenger, and we deliver it right back to you. And let's give credit to other partner companies.
Yeah.
Aramex is our delivery company. We have a lot of people who we work with
Yeah.
that make it possible. Verviant is our back-end company. They provide the software
Yeah.
and the application that was created for Mimi.
Yeah.
So, we're working with local people who have started businesses. We're all supporting each other.
Yeah.
The idea is that if e-commerce grows in Kenya, it makes it so much easier for you to sit in your home,
Yeah.
do what you need. I don't have to go to the shops and leave my kids to go and look for something. I can shop at
Wow.
home, and guess what? Ding,
It's going to be
ding.
delivered
Yes,
right.
it comes to my door.
Oh my goodness. So you know what? The numbers are on your screen. Get in touch. Get to Mimi, and I know you'll get your beautiful outfit. Yeah. So people can look like that.
They can look better.
Okay.
They'll
Oh,
look
wow.
much better.
Okay. Now, people have been
you.
asking. These people, even these ones who are here, they've been they've been asking. Have you ever been big? Have you ever fought with weight? Were you born like this and just stayed like that? Just small?
It's very interesting
Yeah.
because, yes, of course, as a mother
Yeah.
and someone who's been through childbirth, and yes, I was very small when I became pregnant with my first child. I was about 50 kilos. So I used to go between 46 to 53. So 46, I was really tiny. That's when I was studying for exams. I always would lose weight during, difficult periods. And then 53 was at my heaviest. Came out of my first 2 pregnancies. One day went to weigh myself, found I was 70. I'm 5'2". Okay, let me be honest. I'm 5'1". And a bit. So I like to say 5'2", but I'm very small.
Yeah.
So 70 kilos
Is quite
on this
big for
frame
that. Yeah.
is massive. Now, this was after my 3rd child, and I could barely get out of bed and stand straight. My back was affected. My calcium, I think, in my body must have been really low. Went into my 4th pregnancy, and literally I remember one day getting up and telling Tony, I feel like an old woman. I have to do something. I can't stand straight. The weight was a lot. My body was struggling. I wasn't comfortable. So I started looking into a lot of different options. And our dad, I told you a few shows earlier that there's a man, Mr. Mungai, who we both call Dad.
Yes.
And he had gone through a surgery. He had been recommended a diet by a doctor because he needed to lose a bit of weight before the surgery. So it was considered a healthy way to lose weight pretty fast.
Yeah.
And you can Google it. It's called the cabbage soup diet.
Okay.
It's online.
The
You
one
can
with
find
TJ
it.
soup?
Yes.
Is it that one? Okay.
That's the first.
Yeah.
That's the first one I did.
Okay.
And honestly, I started to shed the weight very fast. I at one point went into literally I had to drink a lot of water. I was sweating out a lot of toxins.
Yeah.
So you must drink a lot of water. If you do this, you must pay attention to the rules and regulations. I was still breastfeeding, so I had to make sure that I was eating enough to breastfeed my babies.
Yeah.
But I was reinforced by the story in Daniel, because some people would tell me, no, you have to have njahe. You have to have meat. You have to have, but I said, but Daniel in the Bible ate only
Fruits and vegetables.
Fruits, vegetables, and water.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
My body transformed in 3 weeks. When I say transformed, I mean the aches and pains went. I started getting energetic.
Yeah.
Over the space of 5 months, I lost a total of 16 kilos.
What? In 5 months?
Kilos. And what I was doing, I was only doing it 3 times, 3 days
every
week.
2
weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks. So in a month, I was only doing 6 days, the first 3 days of the detox. That was it. And I lost 16 kilos in 5 months.
Oh my God.
And since then, I've kind of kept an eye.
Yeah.
And this is for all ladies.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell my hubby,
Yeah.
I have pushed that, I have carried and pushed 5 babies for you.
Yeah.
5. This is my time to look fabulous. So whatever I need to do
Let me.
to look fabulous,
Yes.
to feel fabulous,
Work with me.
support me, babe.
Yeah.
Support me.
Thank you.
So I really feel, as women take that space where you're saying, this is for me.
Yeah.
This is for my body. This is for my health. This is for my wellness. You cannot have a great love life if you are feeling unwell and unhealthy.
Yeah.
You can't be supporting and growing your children if you can't run around with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So I can get on my son's bike or my daughter's bike.
Okay.
And I can ride it around the complex with them, so that's good. I'm at a happy place now.
good.
Physically, I
Yeah.
feel comfortable
Yeah.
and hopefully it'll stay that way. I'm going 40 next year.
Wow.
I'm going 40 next year and I'm really excited.
Welcome,
Oh,
Julie.
yes.
Welcome.
And I'm great.
And by the way, 40, you're just beginning.
Yes,
You're
I'm
just beginning.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, you were warming up all these years.
It's just the start.
You've been warming up.
Super.
Wow. What's your parting shot?
Wow. My parting shot is that this is something that I realized very recently, is that God has such trust in us as women that He gave us the gift to bear and deliver life. Life. That you carry and deliver life. He's almost made us mini gods. Men there, and let me not use mini gods, but His children who are given the power to deliver His other children.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand the strength in that. And I keep thinking to myself, what a responsibility. And how much do we owe the Lord to say thank you for trusting us, to give us the power to carry and deliver life. And what can I do in return but to nurture that life, to have a great life and show you at the end of the day, I understand the trust that you had in me. I appreciate it.
Wow.
So my parting shot to women is, when you look in the mirror, see yourself as God has created you, as someone who was given the power to carry and deliver life. It's such an expression of confidence. Then ask yourself, if God has this confidence in me, what can I give back to Him to say thank you?
Wow. Oh, wow. 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 Thank you so much, Julie. You've been of such tremendous help. And I believe that a lot of women will never be the same again, because I tell you, that's been amazing. I mean, from the get-go, from all your testimony of where you're coming from to where you are today and what you're doing with leadership and, just your life as a whole has been such a blessing.
Thank you. It's been
May
such
God
a
bless
pleasure.
you. Wow. Wow. May God bless you and keep you and your family.
Thank you.
This is Woman Without Limits. May the good Lord bless you for tuning in. Remember, next Sunday we are here, same time, same channel. Listen, you are a woman without limits. Don't let anybody, not even life, limit you. So get out of your own way and become who God created you to be. God bless you.
Welcome to the Daughters of Zion Ministry, a ministry headed by Reverend Kiuna, who is called to raise the standard among women, to make them know that they're not secondary but primary in the eyes of God. For a woman to understand that she matters, she is lovable, she is valuable, and yes, she is competent. And nothing, absolutely nothing can stop her. We have seen women become high and mighty, having come to this ministry downcast and with low self-esteem, believing that nothing good can come out of them. Here, marriages are changed. Single women are satisfied, knowing that this is just a stage in their lives. Reverend Kathy Kiuna travels all over the world, raising the standard among women of all walks of life. This is an experience with the author of life. We take this opportunity to welcome you to the Daughters of Zion meetings, where thousands of women gather every last Saturday of the month at JCC Parklands from 1 p.m. You cannot afford to miss. Daughters of Zion, raising the standard among women.
Yes, you are. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. There's nothing